I'm not gonna lie, these disappointed me. Yo, Zakaragi here for a performance review for the Adidas AE2s. Now, are these better than the AE1s? Before I dive into that, I need you guys to do me a huge favor. I need you to drop a like, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel as well. If you want to see me continue to do videos like this, then go ahead, do all those three things, and without further ado, let's get straight into this review. Now, it's about damn time Adidas finally dropped the AE2s because it feels like the AE1s have been out for quite a while now, honestly. I want to say like almost 2 years, but completely understandable given the fact that the hype train for that shoe was unreal. You know, you got some of the best marketing campaigns of all time, plus a million different colorways. Like, Adidas really milked the release of the AE1s and really capitalized on the popularity of the shoe. This is the box that the shoes come with here, so it's not that pull-out style box that the AE1s had. It's just a regular, like, kind of lid like this. Kind of cool, to be honest. Has sort of like the design language of the shoe on the box here, so really cool, matches the colors of the shoe. And as far as retail price goes, these do retail for $130 US or $170 Canadian. So the design of the AE2s is fairly similar to that of the AE1s. Now, if I had to decide between the two, which one I like better, me personally, I would pick the design of the AE1s. I just feel like it looks better overall, but there are a lot of similarities between the shoe. For example, the toe box design of those pretty much looks the same from shoe to shoe, but when it comes to the materials, this is where things really switched up for the shoes. Now, a big part of the problem with the AE1s was the weight of the shoe, and I attribute that mostly to the material setup of the shoes because it had a lot of TPU paneling, right? On the sides of the shoe had that honeycomb design. Now, the AE2s, they still do have some of that TPU material that is kind of there just for structural integrity of the shoe, keeping things supportive while also keeping things durable, but they do replace a lot of that TPU with the textile side panels, and I do appreciate that because it did make the shoe a lot lighter, and it really did help with just making things a bit more comfortable as well, because you know, a lot of people would find the AE1s maybe not the most flexible shoe, or in my opinion, I thought they were pretty flexible given the material setup of that shoe. But with the AE2s, I just think the material setup is more comfortable overall, especially given the fact that it is more padded on the inner back portion of the shoe. It's better sculpting and just has more padding on the inside there, making it an overall more comfortable experience. And the tongues are a bit different on each shoe. So with the AE1, it did have these like bungee cords attached to the tongue, which went down in the footbed, and the AE2s don't have that, but didn't really make too much of a difference in the overall experience of the materials on foot, in my opinion. Now, as far as breathability goes, I thought it was all right. Nothing too crazy, honestly, and I thought it was just as breathable as the AE1s also. But just like the AE1s, I didn't really like the feeling of the toe box. It's just too flat, and it really does press down on the top of your toes. At least that's what I experienced with the shoes. Now, the more that I played in them, it did go away, or maybe my foot just got used to it, but really don't like that feeling with the toe box there. So moving along to the fit and sizing of the AE2s, and in my opinion, they are a bit more of a standard width. Now, the AE1s were more snug and narrow, whereas these guys, you do have a little bit more width to play with. Pause, that is terrible, but you guys get the idea. Now, these guys, you should definitely go true to size width, but obviously try them on in store first if you can. But now, diving into the lockdown of the AE2s, so the first thing I do want to note is that right away when you first get the shoes, the laces are not laced up to the two top eyelets. So make sure you do thread the laces through those eyelets right away so you get the most out of the lockdown of the shoe. And the second thing I do want to note is that the AE2 is a lot easier to put on foot compared to the AE1. Just want to get that out of the way. Didn't really know where to fit that anywhere else in the video, but now as far as how the AE2 sort of hug your foot, I found it to be pretty good, honestly. I think they hug the foot and really tighten up better than the AE ones. But my problem with the sort of setup we have going on, I guess, with the eyelets is the fact that they do loosen up over time. Now, I didn't have that problem with the AE ones, so I'd find myself readjusting the laces here and there when it came to playing in the AE2s. So that's why I'd honestly prefer the lockdown of the AE1 more over that of the AE2. But if you prefer having like a more secure, more tight feeling on foot, then obviously the AE2 is your go-to, but just be prepared to have to retighten those laces every so often. Now, as far as how the shoe contained my foot, no problems there, honestly. Lateral containment was on point, and I didn't have any heel slip issues either, so I was good to go on that end. And then when it comes to the support, these guys do feature a massive X-shaped shank plate within the shoes. You can kind of see it through the translucent outsole here, so it starts where the toes are pretty much, all the way down to like the bottom of your heels. That's insane. And then we do have an additional midfoot shank plate, as you can see on the outsole right here. It is external. And then on the back portion of the shoe, we have a pretty sturdy heel counter as well. So we do have these two pieces of TPU plastic on both sides of the heel right there. And just like the AE ones, it does have that fake carbon fiber print on it. So this isn't actually carbon fiber, it's TPU plastic. So, you know, it's kind of like a marketing tactic from Adidas to make you think you're getting carbon fiber, where in reality, you're not. And obviously you can see the difference between the AE ones and the twos. We have like a singular piece of that plastic fake carbon fiber thing on the AE ones, and then we have like the dual plastic fake carbon fiber thing on the AE2s right here. Now, as far as how these were on court, when it comes to support, didn't really have much problems at all, honestly. This shank plate setup here does a great job of really restricting your foot from moving in weird ways that it shouldn't. I didn't really have any problems with it while playing in them. These held me down great for the most part. And then the heel counter back here, no problems with that either. My heel felt nice and supported on that end. So all in all, this is a really supportive shoe. Didn't have much problems with it, and it's fairly similar to that of the AE ones. Honestly, you really shouldn't have any problems with these support-wise. So now getting into the cushion setup, and what we have here is a combination of light strike foam and light boost foam. Now, similar to the AE ones, I'm gonna go ahead and say that there's probably no light strike foam within these shoes, because a lot of the people proved that there actually wasn't light strike at all within the AE ones. So I don't know why Adidas keeps saying that there is, where people literally cut the shoe in half, shout out Foot Dr. Zach, and prove that there really isn't any light strike going on there. So as far as how these feel on foot, now what you're getting out of these is a low to the ground feel that is great for court feel. You don't really get much under the forefoot at all. Like, it doesn't really feel all that responsive, not really bouncy, just kind of feels muted, honestly. If you do feel some sort of feedback in the forefoot, that's probably mostly from the shank plate system. I'm not gonna lie, just the energy return you get from it. The heel portion of the shoe doesn't really feel all too plush either. And this setup, all in all, just really isn't that bouncy, I found, to be honest, either. And impact protection is really just decent, nothing too crazy, honestly. So in my opinion, I really do feel like they sort of downgraded the cushion setup. This isn't nearly as good as the AE ones, whereas that shoe felt bouncy, responsive, and had great impact protection. So I don't know why Adidas sort of went with this route. Maybe that's what Anthony Edwards sort of wanted in his shoe, but when it comes to the setup, honestly, it's a downgrade from the AE1 mids, but honestly, actually, it kind of feels like a downgrade from the AE1 lows also. I found that shoe to be a bit better than these, to be honest. So yeah, I don't know what's going on at Adidas. You guys kind of screwed it up with the cushion setup on these. And then finally, the most disappointing part about these shoes, hands down, is the traction setup. So on these shoes, we do have full-length herringbone from top to bottom, just like the AE ones, but the implementation of the herringbone is slightly different on these guys, just being that it's more segmented and broken up. Now, these do pick up a lot of dust, like a lot. It's really packed in there within the grooves of the shoe, but unlike the AE ones, these didn't hold up well on those dustier floors. Even though the AE1 did pick up a lot of dust, it still gripped well on those courts. Whereas these guys right here, whew, oh my god. The traction on those dustier floors was atrocious. Honestly, if I didn't wipe the outsole every couple plays, or even just after every play, every dead ball I could possibly wipe the outsole on, I would not have grip. Like honestly, I didn't slide out like anything crazy, but anytime I was doing like a quick change of direction or just any sort of like move, I would just slide out very slightly, right? But enough to throw me off to the point where I'm like, man, I really just feel like I'm at a disadvantage because I'm not gripping the floor like I should be and having my quick first step that I normally have. But on the cleaner courts, you really shouldn't have any problems, to be honest, but it's just sad, honestly, that you would screw up the sort of traction setup with herringbone like this. It's crazy to me, but the durability of the outsole is just as disappointing, to be honest, because I only played indoors and it's already starting to fray and break apart, mainly towards this back portion here. So outdoor hoopers, just avoid these entirely. These are not going to hold up well. If they can't even hold up indoors, why would you expect them to hold up outdoors, right? So Adidas really screwed it up with the traction setup here. I don't know why they went with this direction, but that just sucks, honestly. I'm really disappointed in that. But overall, Adidas and Anthony Edwards hit their sophomore slump with the AE2s. They're basically just a lighter version of the AE1s with better materials, worse traction, and worse cushion. I'm really disappointed with how these turned out. So Adidas, Ant-Man, you guys missed with these ones, believe that. So comment down below and let me know what you think about these shoes, any questions, any concerns, or if you just want to share your experience with the shoes, comment down below. I always love hearing from you. But we're at that point in the video now, it's time for hashtag Zacharagi, what you rockin'? And for today, I've been wearing these a lot recently. So these are the Nike Pegasus Premium. My goodness, these are so damn comfy. So I will be doing a review for these, so stay tuned for that. I'll link it up here once it's out, but that is it for today. I appreciate you all for watching. I'm signing out. Peace.